I was recently building my tough small group base, the original Frustrator design, according to the video, and I realized that while many of the main concepts still work, there are so many things I've learned from you and others in the meantime, and that there are so many little things to improve that it was time to make an updated version of it. Presenting the original Frustrator version 2. It features a starter unit which you can extend into the full base, the tried and tested loot room design, now with extra protection from reinforced glass windows, which can be reached from an open corridor winding around a solid core, an airlock with perfect visibility, anti-door camper turrets that can be put in and out of action from within the base's safety, and sealable roof access. Further, the build is now flexible in terms of the TC placement. Even if raiders have seen the video, they still have to guess in which of the 7 possible locations the TC is located. Even if they make a lucky guess, it takes a minimum of 19 rockets to get to the TC, but it's likely to be substantially more. And if they want to grieve the base, they still have to invest more than 20 rockets to get all the external TCs. The cheapest way I could find to raid all main loot rooms would be 44 rockets. And for a full raid, we should end up with something between 50 and 60 rockets, which in my opinion is an outstanding level of protection for a base that costs 26k stone, 18k metal frags and 147 HQM, with a daily upkeep of 5k stone, 4k metal frags and 31 HQM. The airlock is now sticking out of the base. This gives you an almost 180-degree field of view and door campers virtually no place to hide. And if you get door camped, open these garage doors from inside the base to let the auto turret take care of them. If someone manages to get inside, the shotgun trap will shoot out the twig stairs to prevent them from going deeper easily. The area above the entrance has become a bedroom with a locker integrated into the honeycomb. Make sure to leave meds, food and a hammer in this box. Through this garage door we enter the main living area. The half wall above the entrance contains 2 more drop chests and a shotgun trap. The main living area is not as open as it used to be, and there's garage doors all around, something you guys recommended in the comments to increase the base's durability. The auto turrets that used to be in the center now moved above the loot room chute. As in the original, the main loot rooms can be reached by climbing into the chutes. I exchanged the original double low wall design to a window frame based design. The rationale is that this design gets extra strength from the ability to cover the rooms with reinforced glass windows. And even without those windows, this design is as durable as the double low wall design from the original, since the loot room is still rigged with traps. These traps might kill unsuspecting raiders inside the chute and, with a bit of luck, make them lose all their explosives. And since the traps cannot be drained, they might not be able to recover them, giving you free boom and gear sets. Some of the loot rooms may come with optional compartments on the side, which can house useful things like lockers, the TC or a fridge. You might have to step onto a campfire to reach the TC, and you'll have to repair the reinforced glass window in a repair bench. This outer area over here is still a furnace and bedroom, though it now makes use of the ground floor as well to offer more space for excess storage. It has another bedroom with 2 beds and a locker on the bottom floor. Going back up, let's head over to the starter unit. The starter unit has remained virtually unchanged. It contains all the basics to live out of it while setting up the base. You might have already noticed the ladder next to the starter entrance. This is the novel roof access. If you want to add something like a shooting floor, this is how to get there. Here I'll only be presenting a minimal set of doors and windows. They are meant to prevent door campers or raiders to go deep from the roof. Again, we have an auto turret that can be taken in and out of action from within the safety of the airlock. This helps to clear large parts of the roof and cover the roof exit in case raiders are trying to get in from the top. To ensure that the roof entrance does not become a weak point in the ceiling, you can use a stability trick to seal it up. When you go offline, place a twig foundation on the square next to the ladder, place a roof on top of it and upgrade it to sheet metal. This effectively seals the roof entrance and makes it as strong as the rest of the ceiling. When you come online, simply destroy the twig to unseal it. Start the footprint with a triangle. Add squares on all sides, then triangles all around. Add squares going out from the two connected triangles and fill in the gaps with triangles. On one of the square triangle square sides, add another square and another triangle for the entrance. This is how the footprint should look like. Pick one empty square triangle square section for the starter. One of the squares will serve as temporary main loot and TC room. Place the TC in the outside corner. Go outside and create this half-height triangle. Upgrade it to wood as we will use it as temporary steps to climb up to the starter. Add a half-height triangle on the inside as well, and then place those 4 boxes around the TC. Place the workbench into the triangle next to the main loot room. You may have to remove the double door temporarily. Replace it with a tier 2 as soon as you can. The other square should fit 5 furnaces, as well as 2 sleeping bags. L-shaped stairs allow you to get up onto the second floor. Before placing a doorway, build a twig half wall and put a half-height floor tile on top of it. Here you can fit more boxes. Continue placing walls, only above the wooden triangle place a double door frame. This doorway should be a single door to create an airlock. Make sure that the outer double door opens inwards, so if you get door camped, people cannot get past the single door frame. In the last room, place a research table with a drop box as well as a barbecue. Further, you should be able to fit 3 more sleeping bags. The starter is now done and you can farm up for the next build steps. Now we'll be closing off the core so we can work on the loot rooms in peace. Upgrade the following foundations to sheet metal. Upgrade the inner walls of the starter and turn the lower 2 walls around. Then place sheet metal walls all around the sheet metal foundations and place the wall between the outer triangles. Put floor tiles on top of the inner foundations. Upgrade the triangle ones to sheet metal but leave the square ones twig. For the second floor, place door frames as shown and fill in the rest of the spaces with sheet metal walls. Please note which side the weak side goes. Finally, we close off the core by placing the ceiling. One of the most common feedback from you guys was to upgrade the ceiling to sheet metal, so that's what we do. Note that unlike in version 1, we leave open one triangle next to a solid wall. This will become our roof access. For now, close it up with a simple triangle. I'll be filling the doorways in with garage doors already, but if you don't have them yet, use sheet metal double doors instead. The core is now sealed and you can start working on the loot rooms. The strength of the loot rooms, apart from the undrainable traps, is that they are spaced out perfectly to negate the use of splash damage. However, before we jump into the design of the loot rooms themselves, we need to decide where to place the TC. Since it is 4 walls to center, the middle triangle offers the most raw strength. Thus, for raiders who perfectly know the layout of the base, this is the best placement. However, Zetch was concerned that experienced raiders might raid the TC loot room first, which would be the weak spot, and then use splash damage to break into the remaining loot rooms from the rear. Thus, it makes sense to have the core surrounded by solid armored walls. Therefore, we'll place the TC in one of the triangles adjacent to the main loot rooms. Go back to your starter base and destroy the TC. Head back to the core and randomly pick one of the triangles. This is very important to leave raiders guessing. Take a ladder and climb down into the chute. Place the TC very close to the thick line on the foundation and as close to the chute as possible. Test whether you can place the window frame, but don't place it yet. First, upgrade the foundation to armored, since later you would not be able to reach it anymore. Then close the TC up with a window frame, wooden shutters and reinforced glass windows. To further confuse raiders, you can build similar compartments in other triangles. Instead of putting the TC, put lockers with your best gear inside of them, or if Zetch was here, he'd probably propose to put a fridge. The advantages of this design are twofold. First, the core can now be upgraded to a solid armored column to better separate the loot rooms. Second, even if raiders have seen this video, they do not know exactly where the TC is. Decide if you want to be stealthy or safe. If you want to go safe, upgrade the triangle above the TC as well as the outer wall to armored. With these upgrades, even the luckiest raider would have to spend 19 rockets in order to reach the TC. To maximize stealth and safety, you eventually should try to upgrade all triangle floors and all walls outside of the side compartments to armored. It is a bit expensive though, so leave it up to you whether you want to make this investment. If you happen to have the blueprint of the armored door and the auto turret, consider using this variation of placing the TC inside the core. To work reliably, it requires 2 auto turrets. The first one goes right in front of the TC, so that it is as far back as possible. Place it before the door frame or you might not be able to place it. Don't forget to close off the sides of the loot room. I recommend to keep a wooden floor tile at half height in one of the sides. This makes it easier to build and repair the loot room. This loot room will not have as many boxes as the other loot rooms, which is one of the downsides. Once you place the half-height floor tile, place the second auto turret into the back corner. This should leave enough space for another large box. Again, place a single door frame with an armored door. This will turn at least the upper box into an unlootable one. Since the doors present a weak point into the core in this design alternative, I recommend upgrading the chute to armored. You need 2 turrets, so raiders are always targeted by at least 1 turret, no matter where they are or whether they stand or crouch. And yes, that includes standing on the left side. Of course, feel free to add more shotgun traps, the more the merrier. Since the auto turrets are far in the back, it's very difficult to damage them with splash damage from rockets. Further, the half-height floor tile acts as a blast shield for at least one of the turrets. At least, I did not manage to damage both at once. As you can see, it would take about 8 rockets to take out both turrets. Together with the doors, that would be 16 rockets minimum. Fire from incendiary rockets may spread into the compartment, but is not very reliable in damaging the auto turrets. Sometimes they do up to 200 HP damage, in this case virtually none. For the continuation of the design, I assume that the TC has been placed in one of the triangles on the side. Let's turn to designing the loot rooms. If any of the side compartment is not used for the TC or lockers, place a wooden half-height floor tile to later help with finishing the loot rooms. One of the things that got clear from your feedback is that flame turrets made little sense. Instead, we're gonna start by placing a shotgun trap onto 4 raised carpets. Raising the shotgun trap means that more pellets hit their targets. You can pick up the carpets after having placed the shotgun trap to reuse them for the other loot rooms. Without the flame turret, we have space for 2 small boxes and 2 large boxes. Two more shotgun traps will be attached to the wall. For the second level, we only place the boxes. The shotgun trap will be attached to the ceiling since we will close the loot room off with a window frame. Verify that you can reach all boxes and traps before upgrading it. The advantage of the window is that glass windows require 4 extra rockets to break. The downside is that raiders can inspect the loot room setup before engaging it. Feel free to use alternative designs, such as 2 low walls as in the original. The advantage would be that the traps immediately catch unsuspecting raiders. The downside is that you are more likely to lose the boxes. Or use a simple garage door if you do not like using any exploits for your loot rooms. Next, let's work on the entrance area. This area received a lot of upgrades as well. The side triangles will be honeycomb. Make sure to leave the wall on the right side second floor out. The lower floor will be largely covered with windows. The idea is to have visibility of any angle in front of the door and to be sure that nobody is camping you. I'm using windows and reinforced glass because it's a lot cheaper in terms of metal fragments. However, you can also use shop fronts. If you have the BP, put a metal floor grill on top of the airlock. Otherwise, use a plain floor tile. In any case, I recommend putting a barricade on top to prevent people from door camping you from up there. Next, we'll add the doors and the reinforced glass windows. We'll also replace the L-shaped stairs with U-shaped stairs. 2 drop boxes go below the stairs. Place a shotgun trap mid-height. It's supposed to shoot out the twig stairs if somebody manages to go deep. The upper floor will be used as bedroom. Put a locker into this triangle where we left open the wall. Add a window frame and an embrasure. This creates kind of an unlootable locker. If you're worried about people shooting through the slit, add reinforced glass. 2 beds should fit nicely into the square, and a small box with mats, hammer and so on should nicely fit into the triangle. I recommend to use a mix of a garage door and a double door for a mix of strength and the ability to quickly open and close doors in case of an online raid. Above the stairs, we place a half-height floor tile. This will house 2 more boxes as well as another shotgun trap. The triangle will contain an auto turret to cover the entrance, something I've seen in recent videos of Paxos, for example. To spice things up, we use a trick that Zed showed me, where if you place the garage doors in the right way, you can open and close them through the wall. This means if you see or suspect somebody outside, open the garage doors from safety and let the turret deal with the threat. Finally, place another barricade here to avoid that somebody camps in that corner next to the door. This should make your entrance pretty door cam proof. The remaining auxiliary room will house another bedroom. In comparison to version 1, the design makes better use of the available space by also using the ground floor. A locker and 2 beds go into the corner of the lower floor. More boxes for low-tier loot can go into the other room that will also serve as a staircase. Above the stairs, we add a half-height floor tile with more boxes. A single door will make the rear boxes unlootable. The area close to the core can be used for more furnaces. And don't forget to build the remaining honeycomb. I'm leaving it all stone in order to reduce the metal fragment cost and upkeep, but also to make the base look less rich and less of a worthwhile target, while only sacrificing 4 rockets worth of protection. Now it's time to finish the living space. Start by closing off all the entrances to the space with garage doors. This time we're going to make the center column solid to allow to spam garage doors later, but feel free to use the old open design if you prefer that. If you can, place turrets above each of the loot chutes. They can help a lot to slow down raids, in particular if raiders try to ladder in from the ground floor. Next, we place items around the center column, such as our tier 3 workbench. Very important, place only the repair bench next to the triangle with roof access, otherwise you won't be able to seal the roof. If you want and have the gears, slowly place garage doors on both sides of each of the loot room squares. This allows you to lock down the base and reduce the mobilities of raiders a lot. The roof entrance is still a bit weak and easy to door camp. In this video, I will only show you a minimal build to secure it. However, feel free to adapt the roof to your needs. For example, add more rooms to house beds and lockers, turn it into a shooting floor, or even add a heli tower. For the minimal build, place double door frames and window frames as shown. Use single doors for better cover if somebody tries to go deep. The shotgun trap is in a spot where it's very hard to bait. For the next build step, ensure that the bulky part of the garage door points inwards. Run out to the center triangle where we hide another auto turret in the same way as we did in the front of the entrance. Again, the garage doors can be opened from within the airlock, making it easy to regain control of large parts of the roof if it has been compromised. Right now, the roof entrance is still a weak point. Remember that I stressed only to place a workbench next to the ladder that leads to the roof? If you go offline, you can place a twig floor and an upgraded roof on top to effectively seal the entrance. Be careful, if you also want to guard the chute with shotgun traps, place them very far forward or the roof won't place. And that is the minimal roof exit done. Since the base relies heavily on unlootable loot rooms and traps, external tool cupboards are a must. Find the square triangle square part and build out from the right square. That is the same one as the entrance. Build out 6 squares, then 3 triangles. Here I'm using a simple door-based external TC. The idea is to make it easy to break and replace the external TC if the main TC needs replacing. However, use whichever design you like. Make sure to add a triangle in the end. Otherwise, raiders can obtain building privilege over the whole base by destroying the main TC and taking over one outer TC and connecting it to the base. I'd recommend building at least 3 external TCs. And yeah, that's the original Frustrator version 2. Thank you for all your comments and your constructive feedback on the original version and the subsequent Frustrator bases. I hope you find that I incorporated your input well to deliver an even better base. As always, may it bring you safely through the wipe. Until then, Evil Wurst out.